Hey guys, it's Mopsy2 here with another animatronic review. Today, I'll be giving you my review of the new for 2025 Home Depot 3-foot animated Girl on Tricycle. So, Girl on Tricycle, or Tricycle Girl as I like to call her, is made by Jemmy and she retails for $58.98 before tax. And she can be purchased both in-store or online. For a little bit before, when Home Depot had released their online, she was nowhere to be seen on the website. So she was, for about, I think, the first 2 weeks, 3 weeks, was solely just in-store only, but now you can get her online. She is battery operated and has a built-in sound and motion sensor, which is located directly in the middle of her upper body. She also comes with two Try Me buttons. One is built into the control box, and the other is one of those, like, more typical standard ones that you would see on any tabletop decor or something. You know, it's like the small little one with a little plastic circle with the black button in the middle. Just for her, it's a bit longer. Granted, it's not so long that I could use it, sadly, for this video, but it can be removed. Well, the second one, obviously, the one that is built in, cannot be removed. And it is attached to the frame with a Velcro strap, so you don't have to worry about it maybe getting caught in the wheels. I'm glad that Jemmy thought about that and did add a Velcro strap that you can also remove. If you unplug it, you can remove the Velcro strap. She is 3 feet tall and is adorned in a red Victorian style dress with a black lace accents. She features a cracked face which resembles a porcelain doll almost, and then has these bright blue eyes, and when activated they will glow red. When activated, she giggles as creaking sounds, and the ringing of a bicycle bell can be heard, and she moves forward what I would say is about 8 or so feet, and then she will start to move reverse and go back to her starting position. Tricycle Girl also comes with an optional stand piece that allows you to use her in a more stationary, so she won't move, and it also adds some added stability. This is actually a really useful little piece that Jemmy added on, because if she is moving and running into something, it can cause damage. So this allows you to just keep her, if you don't have the room for her to move about, you can keep her stationary and still have her activate without the worry of damage. She's very easy build, only consisting of a few pieces to put together. But some things to note about the build are that when you're putting her together, you want to make sure that you bend the legs in a natural looking position, and then you have to attach them to a little bar and use a cotter pin to secure them in place. Otherwise, they will just pop right out. It also helps if you put them in a natural looking position so that they look more normal, unlike some I've seen that aren't bent before they were put in, and she has these weird looking, like, straight legs that don't look right when she's pedaling. She does have foam around her arms, and it is strictly mentioned on a flyer in the box to not remove the foam from the arms. It helps give the arms their form and, you know, adds some more stability to the arm poles and keeps them protected. Something else to note is, like I said earlier, if you're not using the stand, you want to make sure that her movement is unhindered, that she's not bumping into anything or, you know, constantly running into something, or else that could damage her mechanism. And I know that if she is bumping into something, you will hear an audible clicking sound. So you definitely do not want to let that happen. That shows that there is strain on the motor. So you definitely want to keep that from happening. You do not want her to break. All in all, I do have to say that I think she is an amazing animatronic. Genuinely, of the whole entire Home Depot lineup, she has won for me. She is the number one from their whole entire lineup. And I know that that is going to be something that people will say is crazy, is controversial, because obviously Home Depot has some heavy hitters, but I think the reason why she wins is A, her price. $59.98 is ridiculous. It is such a cheap price for an animatronic. A life-size 3-foot that is just so crazy. B, she is all plastic, no latex or anything. Obviously, the bicycle is made out of metal, so she's going to last you for years if you take care of her. And then, secondly, she's just so easy to move around. Even after you completely put her together, she has a bar basically that is just for the bicycle that you can easily lift. As long as you use two hands and keep support on it, you can move her around easily with ease. So this is something that I know I've seen people bring up, is that she is a copy of what SVI does. SVI has their tricycle props, but I sadly would have to say that Tricycle Girl does everything, or Jemmy has done everything with Tricycle Girl that I think SVI wishes they could have done with their tricycle props. First of all, she's 3 feet tall. The SVI props were at most just over 2.5 feet tall. And also, the biggest thing again is the price. SVI's props, I remember, even for the Ghost Tricycle, which is just the tricycle itself, nothing on it. And it reused the audio from the doll, the tricycle doll, was over $120 for that. It was just the tricycle, so it was just like 2 feet tall, and it was just a tricycle that moves on its own and doesn't even go as far as Tricycle Girl, whereas she's under half that, which I think is very disappointing for SVI. That, you know, and mind you, the Ghost Tricycle is still around. You can still buy it on certain websites as it is a wholesale prop. Secondly, I would say, is, again, she moves farther than the SVI tricycle props. They do not go out as nearly as far as she does. I believe, again, it's around like 8 feet, I believe, that she moves forward, and then she reverses right back to her starting position. Which, again, is a little sad. I get that, you know, SVI made theirs a long time ago, you know, quite a few years ago, about 5 or 6 years now, I think. But it's also the fact that they are still remaking some of them, and they haven't gotten any upgrades like that. They're just keeping them exactly how they were. And then lastly, I think the biggest thing, or one of the bigger things, I guess, because the biggest thing is the price, but the last thing to mention is her sound quality. She has much, much better sound quality than the SVI tricycle props, and she's much louder than the SVI tricycle props, which I think, you know, matters when you have an animatronic. You want people to be able to hear them, especially considering for Tricycle Girl, one downside is that she does not have a volume knob. So you cannot have her be silent if you just wanted her to be silent. She is set to that only one volume. But luckily, it is loud enough that, you know, you will hear her. You do not have to turn her up. Obviously, on Halloween, I'm not sure how she will fare against some of my louder animatronics. But considering my plans, I don't think I will have to worry about that, because she will be in a separate area with other smaller animatronics that won't be as loud. Tricycle Girl genuinely has me excited, I would have to say, for what else Jemmy could do with this whole concept of tricycle animatronics, because SVI had set the bar, and Jemmy raised it exponentially with Tricycle Girl alone. And if they continue to do this, they will definitely be a tough competitor for SVI for if they want to do any new tricycle props. she was a prop that I definitely would have to say I have not seen much of online. Like, not many people covered her. I know, like, the Beale Brothers channel, they covered her, and they're one of, like, the only real big haunter channels that I've seen cover her. And I think that has something to do with the fact that she is located in stores on the shelves with the other budget props, with the other 3-foot budget props. So people probably just assume that she's cheaply made, and especially when they see the price, you know, like, oh, she's probably not going to be that good. So they don't pick her up, they don't give her the time of day. But I knew there was more to her when I saw that she came in box. You know, all the other 3-footers that they have, you just buy them like that. They just come like that. I think they're made by Pan Asian Creations, and you just pick them up off the shelf and you take them home. For Tricycle Girl, you do not take the display model off the shelf, obviously. You just have to grab one of the boxes below her, and you have to set her up when you get home. So, you know, I would love for other haunters to give her a chance and actually, like, give her the light of day, because I think she is actually a very good animatronic and deserves that attention. But other than that, I would say that she's really great. She fits in with a lot of different themes that you might be going for. If you're going for a Victorian mansion type, you know, like a fancy Victorian mansion type theme, she'd fit in there. Haunted children's playroom in your haunt, she would fit in there. For me personally, with the porcelain, the cracked looking porcelain face, she's going to fit in perfectly with a dollhouse theme that I plan to do in a few years. You know, I'm building up to that, so she'd fit perfectly there. She does, I should mention, have in the box a slip of paper from Jemmy that, you know, has their support information, so that if anything is wrong, you can contact them to get a replacement, like replacement parts, maybe even a full replacement. I'm not entirely sure. Obviously, I've had no issues with mine at all whatsoever, which I'm very thankful for. I've seen that a lot of the other Home Depot props from, you know, people I talk to, especially on a Facebook Haunters group, they've had to return tons of their animatronics because they've had tons of issues. But everyone who's purchased Tricycle Girl, none of us have had any issues with her at all. But yeah, so I think that just about covers my review for the Home Depot 3-foot animated Tricycle Girl. I definitely think she's worth the price. 100%, 100% recommend that you pick her up if you were on the fence, or if you didn't even know about her, to give her the chance. I think you will not be disappointed. I think she's very much worth it. But yeah, so I just wanted to say thanks so much for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed. And if you did, I would greatly appreciate it if you would consider subscribing and pressing that like button, maybe even leaving a comment down below. I love to hear your guys' feedback and what you think. This is my second video recording in portrait, and if it does sound like I'm reading off a script, I will be honest, I am. This is the first script that I've written because I wanted to have a more put together thoughts, and I didn't want to just wing it. And I know you can probably tell, like, there were some parts that I did ad-lib. I, you know, just wung it and added certain parts and changed the script around as I went. I can't help it. That's just how I am. But yeah. So now I'm going to quickly demo her for you guys. Again, I have the stand-in, so she is stationary. She does not move, just because I do not have the room in my bedroom, sadly, to show off the full thing. So let me see if we can get her to go on. There we go. So, yep, that's her demo, and that will be the end of the video. So again, thanks so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please, if you can, I would greatly appreciate a like, a comment, and a subscribe. Anyways, that'll be it for now, so I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.